Okay, let's move on to our next statement. Luis Arrarez will hit 400 this season. Ben, he's currently batting 403.
Yeah.
He's been consistently around 400 so far this season.
Yeah, he's batting 403. 403. The National League is collectively batting 250. Like, I mean, it's remarkable.
Yeah.
Does he hit 400 for the season? I'm gonna say no.
Dream big, Ben. Dream big.
You
gotta believe.
No, those are two different questions. I want him to hit 400. I will dream big. I want Luis Arrarez to hit 400 for the season. You also have to be a bit realistic. Do I think he does hit 400 for the entire season? Tony Gwynn never hit 400 for an entire season. Only 12 players have finished a season with an average over 370 since 1941. Ted Williams is the only one to hit 400 in the season, and that was in 1941. That's been I don't know, that's been almost 100 years.
So where would you rank that level of difficulty to end this season batting 400?
At this day and age?
Yeah.
In this day and age, with pitchers the way they are, level of difficulty?
Like one
I don't know.
of the hardest
Give me a
things
scale.
to do in the game?
What's a scale?
1
1 to 10, it's a 10.
Okay.
1 to a million, it's a 999.
Would you say it's the hardest thing to do?
In all of, in baseball?
Yeah.
It is up there with the hardest thing
Okay.
in baseball to do, in sports to do. I mean, especially in this day and age. I mean, there's just in 2008, I remember this because in 2008, Chipper Jones at this point in the season, beginning of June, was hitting 420. 420 at this point. He ended up hitting 363 on the year. Tony Gwynn, who's one of those 12, in what year was it? In 1997, he ended up hitting 372 on the year. Tony Gwynn never hit 400 in a season. I mean, is he going to hit 400 the whole year? I will dream big and say, boy, that would be great. I hope so. But if you're legitimately asking me the answer to this question, I can't say yes.
All right.
400?
I'm happy you said this after you talked to Luis Arrarez.
Luis Arrarez is coming on, is next Wednesday's
so
guest,
excited.
by the way. And we talk about, we're going to talk about hitting. That's what, you have a guy like Luis Arrarez on who's hitting 400. You got to talk hitting. And I am so excited for everybody to hear that conversation. So Wednesday's guest episode, next Wednesday, Luis Arrarez. 12 players since 1941 have hit over 370.
Oof.
I think if that were, I would say yes.
You'd say yes over 370, but you're saying no for 400.
And even that's crazy.
All right.
400 is like bonkers. Do people still say bonkers?
Sure.
Bonkers.
Sure.
Okay.
If you're like 50. All right. Let's get to our final statement. Probably the most exciting statement.
Okay.
Elly De La Cruz will be one of the greatest Reds of all time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love Elly De La Cruz.
I think everyone does.
I love him. I mean, he's come up. He in his very first game. Let's see. He starts with a long walk in his first career at bat. Next at bat, hits a ball well above the strike zone for a double. He hit that pitch harder than any Cincinnati Red has hit a pitch all year long. It's also the hardest hit ball that high in the strike. Well, it wasn't a strike. That high in StatCast era. Nobody has hit a ball that high, that hard. His first career hit, well, guess what? He did it. Codify tweeted this. This Elly De La Cruz homer, he hit a homer in game 2. It almost went out of Great American Ballpark. Elly De La Cruz homer, 143 feet off the ground and was picked up by the radar at the airport. Now, I don't know if that's true.
I mean, that would be funny.
I don't think that's true. But,
I'm gullible. I'll believe it.
First career homer, almost out of Great American Ballpark. And then triples. And then is home to second time. Let's just talk about, His time home to second base on his double, the fastest home to second time for the Cincinnati Reds. He has in the minor leagues, he had the hardest thrown ball across the infield of anybody in professional baseball. He is the fastest player. He had the hardest hit ball in professional baseball. His home to third time was 10.83 seconds. That's the fastest in baseball this season in the major leagues. He's breaking StatCast 2 games into his major league career. He's 6'5". He's a Gold Glove caliber shortstop, plays an incredible defense. He's fast. He hits balls out of the stadium. This isn't a real player. He's not real. He's not. He should not exist. He's tall. He's fast. He'll hit for average. He'll hit for power. He has a rocket for an arm. He plays great defense. 5 at-bats into his MLB career. Elly De La Cruz has registered the Reds' 2 hardest hit balls of the season, the Reds' 2 fastest sprint speeds, the Reds' longest home run of the season, and Major League Baseball's fastest home to third time. This is a video game character. He is already becoming one of my favorite players in the league. This is remarkable what we are seeing. He is a superstar. He's a megastar. The game of baseball needed him to come up. He finally did. And I would struggle to imagine a better start to a career than what we've seen.
And the best part is he's having fun. He's throwing up the 44 after the home run. The kid who got his home run ball, like that almost left the ballpark, he ended up bringing him and all of his friends down into the clubhouse, gave them signed balls, took photos with all of them. And then I loved his quote after the game. He said this whole team has some kind of vibe, a really positive vibe. It's a kind of vibe that's going to the World Series. So he's already thinking, he's coming in and he's kind of changing the mindset and the mentality of the team and the energy of the team. Like immediately, everybody was watching the Reds games, the Dodgers-Reds games the last couple of days because of him.
Yeah.
He is someone that will make you turn on your TV and watch a Reds game.
You know, I've been excited about this Reds team since before the call-up.
I know.
We literally talked. The timing was uncanny. You asked me, I said, this guy needs to be called up.
Yes.
And then that day,
did.
either that day
It
or
was
the next
perfect.
day, he was called up. And then Strand in the minor leagues. I've called for him to. The talent is not stopping. I'm so excited about the future of this Reds team, and I don't know how many people in the world are saying that, but I really am, and Elly De La Cruz is a big part of it. To answer your question, will he be one of the greatest Reds of all time? That question becomes tricky because the Reds have a statement.
So, yeah, it could be.
Okay. That to give a proper answer, this question becomes tricky with the Cincinnati Reds, Big Red Machine, Joe Morgan, Johnny Bench, Barry Larkin, who's not exactly a Big Red Machine, but Pete Rose. Like, there's so many names. But one of my good friends one time, Alex Curry, once told me to dream big.
Yeah!
And I am going to dream big and say that Elly De La Cruz will be one of the greatest Reds of all time.